How many times a day do you see, hear, or experience something about COVID? Like 1,000 times a day, right? Really? Yes. Now, depending on how you feel about it, it kind of feels like, okay, we get the point. Well, now this is not a analysis of COVID. It's definitely not a judgment on how you feel about it, or even an explanation on how I feel about it. Who cares? This is a public service announcement to let you know that your health and well-being is being affected if you allow this fear and stressful fear-based news to inundate you like they're trying to do, right? This is not something in some far off country where you see from afar and you feel for the people, but it doesn't quite hit home. This is home. The media modalities have done a great job at letting each and every one of us know that this is something that can happen to you right now. This is something that can be in your home, affecting your family right now. That's hard to take in. And it is very effective at kicking in that what? Autonomic nervous system. Your fight or flight mode is very effective. So let's say that it is a real threat and something we need to pay attention to. Now we're in fight or flight mode because our body, is doing what it's supposed to do. It's an amazing machine. And we're living in this adrenaline fueled energy every day. How long has it been? About 6 months. Let's say we've been living this way for 6 months in this heightened state of adrenaline, fear, protection, because we have to what? Protect our bodies first. That is our natural order. But what happens when we live in a constant state of fear? Do you remember? Do you remember what happens when our body is in a constant state of adrenaline? Now, if you don't remember or don't know, check out the toxic stress playlist and learn all about what it is, how it happens, and what we can do about it. But no, this is toxic stress. It's real, and it's something we need to pay attention to. Our body is in that protective mode, right? And we're paying attention. And then we get faulty, conflicting information. First, don't wear masks. They don't help. Then, everybody is required to wear a mask. Huh? Okay. Then we get everyone should be tested. This is very important. Get tested. But most of the tests are coming up faulty. They don't even work. What? So what are we supposed to do? Stay at home. Just stay inside. Okay. We do that. We wait. Now, you can go outside. Go outside, wear your mask. It's safe to do so, even though the cases are rising and rising as people go outside, says our faulty test. You get the point, right? Or do you? Let me help. This is not about whether it's right or wrong, or whether you agree or not. Regardless of your personal opinion, or mine, or even your experience, this ish is stressful. It is stressful. It is stressful to see people dying of an illness, especially one that's so close to home, one you can get today. That's stressful. It's stressful to be forced to stay at home. It's stressful to be forced to wear a mask in public and to basically do everything that diminishes the living out loud energy we had before, right? It's all very stressful. Whether it's necessary or not, it is stressful. Now, it's stressful, one, but it has been consistent, constant state of stress for months. Majority of Americans, majority of people around the world actually have been in a constant state of stress for months. So it's been consistent and it's spreading. So at first, a few people, then the longer it took to, or the longer we waited, the more information we got, the more we saw the pictures and heard about things, the more people got scared. The fear rose and rose and rose, and the stress levels rose and rose and rose. People are home taking care of kids and working full time or losing jobs altogether. Yikes. Having virtual graduations, prom send-offs with no actual prom, virtual birthday parties. I don't care what you say. That mess is not as fun as you try to make it. It's just not. We're social beings. We're wired to be together. So it's stressful. It's a stressful time. And the stress has been consistent and spreading. Guess what? That's toxic. It is toxic stress. And no matter what you feel about it, about the necessity or about what's going on, if you allow yourself to be inundated in this way and you pay attention to all these different reasons you should be stressed, you will be living in toxic stress, which means not only are you stressed every day, but you're wiring your body and your mind to stay in a stressed state. And when you're stressed, you're vulnerable, extremely vulnerable. Yeah. When you're stressed and vulnerable, then you're highly susceptible to suggestion. They can get you to do anything. Get them to live in fear for a while and they'll follow the rules, right? Yeah. People get mad about the protesters, but they're fighting their own fear. Something we all should do on our own level, in our own way. So now you know that it's stressful, rightfully so in many ways, but the stress is toxic. The stress level has become toxic. I hate to see my 5-year-old daughter say, oh, we can't do this because of the virus. Oh, it burns me. Not that she's not telling the truth. It's the truth. But she's stressed because of the what? I don't like it. I don't like it. So what can we do to mitigate this toxic stress while we still have to follow these protocols and be protective of ourselves and our family and each other? What can we do to make sure that we are not spreading this toxic stress and allowing it to fester and build in ourselves? The first thing we can do is make a decision. Decide what areas you will partake in, what measures you'll take, what protocols you'll follow, and do that. Decide whether you're going to go out and reintegrate into society or not, whether you're going to wear a mask or not, whether you're going to send your children back to school or not. Make a decision based on what you believe, what works best for you and your family. Decide. So once you decide, that means everything else is off the table. You can't watch the news every day and read the paper and see all the conflicting evidence and ideas and go back and forth within yourself. That is stressful. Don't do that. Number 2, remove judgment. Remove judgment. You can't judge other people on their decisions. You can't judge yourself on your decisions. You do the best you can with what you have. And so when you remove the judgment from yourself and others, you feel better. You feel lighter. You're more accepting to people's differences and thus more loving. The more love you put out, the more love you get in, and love does what? Kicks stress right out the door. Okay? We have to love. Number 3, you need to replace the negative feelings, the feelings of stress, the stressors, with new positive emotions and ideas, right? So if your child comes to you and they're complaining or sad because they can't do something because of COVID, or if you are in your mind complaining and sad because you can't do something, you have to think, well, I can't do that, or I don't want to do that because of the consequences. But what can I do? How can I create new fun? How can I create new business? How can I help my kids look on the brighter side of things? What can I do? Ask yourself, think it through, and make the decision to do that positive thing. Every time something negative comes up, cut it off. True, but we can do this. True, but I can think about this differently, right? Cut it off. Okay? So those are your 3 steps to getting out of this cycle of toxic stress. 1, make a decision and follow through. 2, cut out the judgment. And 3, replace the fear-based feelings with new, inspiring, hopeful ideas. All right? And you're on your way. If you got anything from this toxic stress conversation, like this video, check out the toxic stress playlist, subscribe, and share it with a friend that's stressing you out because of how stressed they are every day. Yeah, we all have those. Until next time, peace and love.